guys, welcome back to another episode of Sleeping Giants, Red Star Belgrade. Now, in our last episode, we had one of the most ridiculous endings to a match I think I've ever had since I've been playing FM, not just on YouTube, but in general, ever. Coming back from 5-0 down in the last 10 minutes to take a 5-all draw. We very nearly got through, and it was a massive shame that we ended up going out of the Champions League and coming fourth, but it does mean that now we can now concentrate on the league, which isn't really that important because we pretty much were going to win anyway. But we have had January, and of course we didn't have a lot of money in January because the money from the Champions League has not come through yet, but I made it through a few little... Well, I made an addition, but we've also lost, obviously, Luka Jovic to Dynamo Kiev now. I even looked to see how much they wanted to sell him back to us for. £37 million. So yeah, he won't be coming back, which is a shame, but we have to deal with it. We're stuck with Despotovic and Strakwalersi for the rest of the season, but I think in the summer we can strengthen and we should be okay. But I have managed to make one signing, although there is another who should be joining us soon, which we're going to talk about now. So, we've had so many transfer offers, it's been ridiculous. Like, to the point where I would have it set to reject all. And, like, Star Bucharest, they wanted, I think it was Darko Lazovic. Wait, what? I've rejected that, right? Yeah, okay. Sorry, it wasn't them. But basically, someone else, I think it might have been Lazic, actually. Yeah, I think it was Star Bucharest wanted Lazic, so they offered me a amount of money, and I said no, basically. The next day, they offered me the exact same amount of money, and I said no. And then I set it to reject all, and then every day for the next week, I got a news item saying that they'd offer me the same amount of money, and I'd reject it. Why would you do... What is that? What's the point of that being in the game? But anyway, yeah, so we've got a little bit more transfer funding. You'll see this here. There was no one that we could really go out and buy in January anyway, so we've actually... Someone has left the club, though, in January, and what's happened here is, as you can see, going out, Luka Jovic has gone, but as has Georgi Rakic. He's 30 years old now, I believe. He wasn't going to get any better, and I figured we could cash in on him, and they offered me $400,000 for a player that's probably only worth about $200k at the very most. So it made sense to try and cash in on him and get a little bit more money, and we were allowed to keep a lot of our transfer funds, which is why we've got the money we have. Now, I didn't really spend it on anything in particular. I brought on this lad, and this is the only player I've brought in. He might be 32, and you might think, why the hell are you doing that? Well, with Jovic no longer there on the left-hand side as cover for Gavric, I decided we needed to bring someone in. This is going to be a problem for me to say. I have been practicing, so if I have anyone who's Hungarian, firstly, make yourselves known, that's awesome. And secondly, please explain to me how you pronounce this name, or how close I am to saying this right. Now, what I think it's pronounced, Shazbolch Husti. Husti? Shazbolch Husti. I don't know. How close am I with that? Probably nowhere bloody near, because I know that Hungarian is quite a difficult language, Ergaic etymology, I think, but it's quite difficult to say. And yeah, so if anyone's Hungarian, can you let me know how to pronounce this guy's name, because I'm probably going to be saying it quite a wee bit now. So, that is the only real piece of business there. We do have another guy joining us in the future, who I'm going to show you now. Here he is, Georgi Pila. He won't be joining us for quite a little while yet, but we have paid £500,000 for him. He's very young, but I just feel like with the stats that he's got, there's like, they might have quite a few low ones, but some of his stats are still fairly decent, and my scouts reckon he'll be quite good. We've paid a little bit, I don't know. Point is, he's Georgian, I think, yeah. So he will be joining us too as well, which is, you know, not just yet. He won't be joining us until next January. God dear. But that's obviously to do with the rules in the same way that Luka Jovic couldn't leave us. I'm assuming they have a similar kind of rule in Georgia. Now, we've had loads of offers for a lot of our players, and the players have kept coming to me and saying, oh, why can't I leave to join everyone? Literally every single one of our first team players has come to me and said they want to know why I didn't accept the transfer bids. Thankfully, I was able to tell them all the same thing, and they all actually accepted it. You wouldn't get enough first team football. They all accepted it, so that was great. The problem we've had in March, no, not March. We've had this season, this year, since in the last few games, it's just injuries again. So many injuries. But we've also had a youth intake, which was today. It was the 19th of March today. And that was the youth intake was earlier. So we've got youth candidates here. And I'm actually quite pleased with some of these guys. This is Bojan Pavlovic. He's a winger. So we have, I don't know, I think we have support wingers. Crossing's half decent, you know. It's very, very got a lot of flair, that's for sure. I'm not super solid. Like, got a lot of potential apparently, but I'm more interested in Branislav Vasco, if I'm honest. He's a fullback, limited fullback at the moment, of course, but I don't know. I feel like I like him a bit more. He's very, very determined, and that's what I like to see from him. I just something about him that I prefer in a way. Like, again, it's hard to really know, and there's a couple. I mean, who else have we got that's any good, really? I mean, Ivkovic is a central defender. See, I always look for ones that don't have limited, but then most of the defenders almost always stay limited. I think there was one of the other ones that was Jesus Christ. He's got, again, like, could be decent potentially. Like, he's got decent determination, decent work rate, and his actual defensive stats aren't bad, but it's not certainly. We haven't got ourselves a Lubisa Tufedzic this year round, but you know, we've got some okay players in here, and bear in mind we're strengthening the squad too, so it could be down to that also. So I'll just take you through. We had 2 friendlies, and that was it. We didn't really overdo it with friendlies this time around. It wasn't going to be like last time. So the first friendly, we played against CS Stefaniesti. I'm assuming it's pronounced slightly differently to that. I'm guessing Croatian, not Croatian, Romanian. Yeah. So we won 1-0 with Vukasin Jovanovic, the youngster, scoring the goal for us, which was good to see. And we were sort of rotating quite a few players around for this, but Vukan Savicevic was back, and that was the glorious thing there. In our next game, we actually played against Ludogorets, and we got a 3-3 draw. A little bit disappointing when you actually look at the number of shots we had against these guys. I know it's a friendly, but I'm still going to show you. We were very quite good against them. Nenad Gavric got himself 2 goals, but Jordan Filipov, Hamza Yunis's goals were cancelled out, of course, in the end by Darko Lazovic. So it could have been better, but you know, it was okay. We've played 4 league games and there's been some insane things that have happened. So the first one, a fairly decent performance against third place Spartak. The one thing I would say about this game that has annoyed the crap out of me is that within 10 minutes of his return to the team, also you notice that the players' conditioning, I don't know why they were so unfit. Those friendlies weren't exactly close to this game in terms of the training. They were back to training, and training was normal. So I genuinely do not know why their conditioning was so bad. That was a little bit of a confusion one for me, but if you notice that their conditioning is very, very bad as well, I don't understand why. So the problem was 10 minutes into his revival as the player, 12 minutes, but you know what I mean. Vukan Savicevic stretched it off injured, twisted ankle. He's missed every game since then. He might be back, not for this game today, but for the next episode, he will be back for those games. But it's just the fact that he's off again. Decent goals in this one from Kovacevic, Gavric and Jovanovic late on from a corner. You know, it was looking bad when Jevtic equalised for them, but we managed to get away with the win in the end. Match stats wise, well, I mean, 8 clear-cut chances. I'd have been annoyed if we hadn't won this, but they had a fair amount of half chances too. So we got ourselves another win. That was the kind of key factor about that game, but it has not been plain sailing this month. In our next game, we actually lost against Kukuriki, and this game was just a clusterfuck, as you'll see in a second. We weren't even that bad, as you can see here. We were quite good, really. So yeah, Darko Lazic had to go off on 15 minutes, and Nikola Antic had to go off on 27 minutes, both injured. Then on the half an hour mark, Vukasin Jovanovic was sent off for giving away a penalty that wasn't in the area. It was in the D again. So yeah, we were down to 10 men. We'd already made 2 substitutions. Didn't have another defender on the bench because we'd already had to bring on 2 to replace these 2. So we had to put Kovacevic as a defensive player, which wasn't going to work ever. And we then found ourselves 1-0 down when Stankovic put through the penalty there. And just on the stroke of half-time, Petar Bojic made it 2-0, and I was just, I was furious. It was not a good time to be alive for us. Then Dragoljub Cernic made it 3-0 to Kukuriki, and I couldn't believe it because we were just getting slaughtered by them, and we just had nothing we could do. I couldn't make any subs. We just had to throw everything at them, and Georgi Despotovic popped up with a goal for us, and then a late one from Denis Strakwilersi managed to sort of stop the rot a little bit, but it was infuriating. I mean, they had a lot of chance. I mean, look, 9 clear-cut chances to none. Definitely deserved the win, but the fact that we got so much crap in that... not crap, I mean, 2 injuries and a red card in the first half an hour basically screwed the pooch on them. We just were totally done for in this game, and we had to have quite a weak bench as well, just because so many injuries we've already got. I mean, look at this. Mihailovic, Stojkovic, Zukanovic, who's a youth player for us. Djordjevic, who's probably going to be leaving at some point. It's just... we are bare bones a little bit at the moment. So in our next game, we had a game against... also... you might think, oh, Christ, you lost a game. Yeah, but Partizan also lost that day as well, amazingly. I don't know how this works. When we seem to lose these games occasionally, like we did here, they seem to lose as well. So yeah, have we lost every single one? No, we did lose that one 3-2. I was trying to see. Then we played against Radnik Serdulica, and remember we lost against them 2-0 earlier in the season when we rested players. Today was not going to be one of those days. We played a relatively weakened side again here, somewhat. Well, we had to rotate a little bit anyway, just because of all the injuries. But a Milos Bosancic penalty, followed up by goals from Darko Lazovic, Bogdan Planic, and Shazbolch Hushti. I will get there eventually, I promise. Made it a very, very comfortable afternoon all round for us. Like, we deserved, we got what we did. They did have one really good opportunity, which they managed to, which Harriman actually did a very, very good shot. Carriman did a very, very good stop. Very, very good job of stopping. Christ on a bike. My phrases are not going out of my mouth very well tonight. So there was that. It was a 4-0 win, and it kept us moving at the top. And in our last game, we were a little bit disappointing, really, and of course got some more injuries because we can't avoid them. They're there. As you can see, we pretty much dominated the game against Vostavac, but only 4 shots on target. That was the real killer here. We just could not get our shooting on target. Hushti was injured, as was Bosancic. Just more injuries to add to the pile. As fast as players come back, they're gone again. Match stats, they had no chances really of note, not even a half chance, and we probably should have won this, at least 1-0, just a cheeky one, but it happens. So all of that basically leaves us at the top of the league, 6 points clear. So the gap has still been cut slightly by Partizan because of they won on the last day, but the fact is, I still think we're going to have no problem winning this league. 6 points clear, 11 games to go, and today we have a game against bottom place Borac. They've won 3 games all season. We have to beat them. There's no excuse for not winning this game. Literally just no excuse. So let's just quickly show you the squad while we're here. Top goal scorer is still Bosancic with 17. Though Despotovic is in there behind with 13. Assists-wise, Lazovic has 11, but Avramovsky and Gavric have 10 each. It's a lot of assists going around, which is nice. Player of the match, Lazovic and Savicevic with 4 each. Still, he's right in there. Pass rating, Rangulov. Wow, that's impressive, although he must have played minutes at most. Yellow cards, Kovacevic, Mihailovic and Jovanovic with 6 apiece. And of course the red cards, Jovanovic and Planic have them as well now. Average rating is still Savicevic, but that isn't entirely surprising. Now let's see who we can even select for this game. So they're playing a 4-1-4-1 style system. There's a bit of a gap here, so we're going to have to be careful. But I think we'll be good enough to beat them. So who can we even select? Who is unavailable? So Hushti is out, Gavric is out, Savicevic is out, Lazic is out. Gojic isn't really fit enough yet when he's back from injury. The others are all okay, but we're having to play Peshnik here because the player I signed to cover Gavric is injured as well as Gavric. Good stuff. We are struggling in that sense, but at least Avramovsky's there, Despotovic, Bosancic, Kovacevic. A first choice back 4, if nothing else is positive. The only area in that first 11 that I would really consider to be a bit of a weak link is Peshnik, frankly, which is why I'm tempted to just say go right flank for today's. Just for today's, in fact, I'm going to change that once we get into the match. I'm going to put exploit right flank just so we kind of leave Peshnik to his own devices, because they're going to be weak down both flanks anyway, and I'd rather go to where our strengths are at the moment, and our strengths is definitely not Peshnik, it is Lazovic, because he's a monster at times, and I'm very, very happy to have him on board. Right, let's do this, do our usual thing. Apologies for all this, guys. Right, so yeah, I'm going to say exploit the right flank. We could always turn this back later, but I do kind of just want to see how this works if we try to concentrate on that right-hand side for a bit, just to sort of mean that Peshnik doesn't have to get called into action quite as much, and he can maybe concentrate more on the defensive side of his game, basically. Not that there is a great deal of that either, because he's an attacking-based player. But we've certainly started off with a couple of shots here, which is good. If we find ourselves with a lot of possession, I may try and just keep it a bit more. We're getting a hell of a lot of possession. I might stop passing into space in a sec. It's come to Lazovic, down to Petkovic. Partizan are losing 1-0 against FK Rad. That's good. That's quite a good, tough game for them. Despotovic, can he look around the corner? He can for Peshnik, amazingly. Will he have a pop? Will he win a penalty? Will he do anything? Despotovic! Oh, what the... Oh, he's at the post. That was a big, big opportunity to give us a really, really good start to the game. Oh, Bosancic with a free kick. That's a long way out. Oh, coming back for Ney Peshnik, and again. Oh, unbelievable start. Peshnik's been involved in everything for the first few minutes of this game. I think, actually, I don't want to touch anything because we're actually playing very, very well to start with. They're not a good side. We are a good side. Go on, Peshnik. He's had another shot. despite us trying to keep the ball away from him just because he's not in his comfortable position, he's getting on it. Probably because he's drifting across to the right-hand side, to be honest. Oh, that's poor. There's two of you there. Come on, that's terrible play. We should just be able to win this off them. Oh, that's even better. They're just going to keep passing it straight back to us, aren't they? I sense it's going to be one of those games where we just keep the ball from them. Petric here. But we need to make the most of our chances. Oh, come on now. You know, we can't have all this great opportunities and then not take them, basically. It's as simple as that. We have to take the chances when they appear. Out to Macevic. Nizovic. Panic. They're getting a little bit more of the ball. No way. Thank God for that. Don't let them walk through you guys. Come on. It's probably worth just closing down a little bit more, actually, as it happens. They were able to walk the ball around a little too comfortably, shall we say. Lazovic with the ball. No, plays it out wide to Pešnik again. Surely not another go for him. A shot, perhaps? Or is he just going to be cheeky and knock this across the box? Or win a penalty for us? Goes all the way across. And how is that ball not gone in the net? I'm a little bit confused there. That looked like it... He somehow managed to head that backwards and away from the goal. Oh my God, how did we not put that in? That's so bizarre. Pešnik's actually been quite good today. Despite us avoiding him, he's finding the ball from these set pieces where we're just dominating. Avramovski with the strike, comes back, and Jovanovic is there to put it into an empty net. And we've been so dominant that there's no real surprise that we've managed to get ourselves into the lead in this game. They are bottom of the league after all, Borac. But that doesn't mean they're not good. They've beaten FK Partizan away from home, and they beat us last year, if you remember. Quite comfortably as well, although that admittedly was back when we were trying to sort out our tactics a little bit. But from set pieces against them, we've been absolutely brilliant today. And they've Pešnik, ironically, getting on the edge of the area here, this time going short to Avramovski. But we've had this sort of goal a couple of times with the keeper. Oh my days. Should have just picked that up, but instead it falls to Vukas and Jovanovic, and he's got it. That's 1-0 to us, but we do need more goals. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of going on attacking, we're just going to switch to control, because we are a goal up, and we need to protect that. And now we're going to just try to avoid getting caught on their counter-attacks, because obviously that's their plan all along. But now that we're a goal up, we can just afford to not have quite so many players thrown forwards, because it will catch us out. God, the amount of chances we've had, I feel that we probably should have another goal. And Rada, 2 goals to the good against Partizan. This could be the day that we really put a big gap between ourselves. That'd be 10 games to go and a 9-point gap. You'd have to say that the title would be pretty much ours for the taking then, because that would mean we'd have to lose 3 of our last 10, and we've only lost 3 of our first 20, so seems a little unlikely that that's going to happen. What we've been doing has been working. I'm not going to change it to just try and get Pešnik into the game a bit more. Frankly, he's been in the game quite enough, I have to say. He's done a fairly decent job on that left-hand side, even though we've barely been able to get the ball to him from open play. But from set pieces, taking up that role has been very, very good. Comes away here, don't get caught. Pešnik again winning it there. Jovanovic, around the corner perhaps? Kovacevic, don't lose it here. There'll be a huge break on Pešnik round the back. Oh, what a strike that was from Pešnik. Amazingly, he is, you know what? He's clearly comfortable on that flank, so we'll give him the ball a bit more. It's clearly designated to the right has done nothing for that anyway, because he's still getting the ball plenty. And when, in fact, he's, if anything, looking at the heart of some of the more dangerous attacks. There is a goal back in the other game, though. Still a chance potentially for Partizan, but even if they got a draw, it would still push us back to 8 points clear again. And frankly, for me, you're not going to catch us. We're not going to lose that many games. Knock round the corner for Pešnik again. Whips it across, and it's headed in by Daniel Avramovski. That is 2-0. And Avramovski's done a brilliant job, I have to say, of playing that Savicevic role. Like, he's not been quite as prolific, but the fact is, when he's been called upon in games, and he's been very consistent this year, he's done a great job of playing that role as a sort of understudy. But the fact is, he's played so many more games. Right, so we're 2 goals to the good now. We're on control. Everything is looking just cushy. Let's just tell them to tighten up, just to make sure that we don't... Oh, 3-1 now to FK Rad. Things are looking delightful for us today. And I was about to make another substitute, make our first sub, but it looks like we might have a chance to score a third before that happens. Kovacevic. There's a lot of players there. If he can just get the ball out wide and just get across and see what happens. Or maybe we can carve them open. Avramovski. No. Need to be a bit pacier with our play than that. Here we go. Antic. Whips it across to Spotovic, and it's 3-0 now to Red Star Belgrade. And this game is the perfect example of us just exerting our dominance. And I think the going on control and just passing that ball around, it's actually, we're playing some quite nice football, frankly. Nice and patient. Lovely stuff. That Antic there, picking out the run of Despotovic, and he's fired in another goal. So many assists in this team. Right, let's see what we have off the bench. Well, 3 goals to the good. Who needs a rest? As much as Bosancic does, we still don't really have anyone that can... Oh, no, I tell you what, I don't like bringing on Stojkovic because he is just that bad. Like, he just doesn't seem to be able to come... I always put him in there sometimes and it just doesn't work. What I am tempted to do, though, is... Now, we'll go for Strakwalershi, because he has actually come up with some decent goals for us in the past. That'll be our first sub, is to bring Strakwalershi on. Give Despotovic a bit of a rest. He's got his goal. That's good. We can start bringing on some of the players that we're going to need. Why are you frustrated? You're 3-0 up. Calm down. In fact, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. No, I can't. There's a limit to the amount of team talks you can do, so we'll just save that for later in the game. Here we go. That's better. Looking nice and calm. And so you should be. There's nothing to be annoyed about. So this is what I mean. There's so few options of good players on the bench. Right, so we got left... No, right, okay. Mihailovic is going to come in and play instead of Kovacevic. I would bring on Gojic, but as you can see, he's not got a decent level of condition, and I don't want to get him injured. So Mihailovic can come in there. He's capable of playing the role, and he actually does some quite interesting things when he does that. Some of his forward runs, despite... Oh, God, that is one of our players. We really do need to manage our injuries better, but there's nothing we can really do about it at the moment. They've just been so prolific with the number of injuries we've been getting. A clean sheet would be quite tasty to have, though. We're in no hurry to sort of cap off this second half with anything in particular. What other options are there, really? I'll screw it. We'll bring on Stojkovic for the last few minutes. Bosancic is on a yellow card as well, and we could do with keeping him as fit as possible. Someone showed me a goal that he scored whilst playing, I think in South Korea. Oh, you're kidding me. Very, very good goal. Like, dribbles it through half their team and then just chips the goalkeeper. It's glorious. If the guy who posted that video when he watches this again, so you guys can see it's quality. Just proves that this guy actually does that kind of stuff in real life. Don't let them score. That would be kind of shitty. There we go. Oh, what in the name of God? I could just sit in silence while this happened. Like, what is this bullshit? I'm sorry, but you're a goalkeeper. Like, why are you diving to save that? You just catch it. No, I'll bat it into Popovic's path. That is ridiculous crap. I don't care how bad of a goalkeeper you are in real life. You don't do that. 4-1, though, in the other game. And that's annoying, because it's got rid of our clean sheet, and that was total crap. Like, things like that are really frustrating in this game. When you just... Oh, wow. Avramovsky again. 4-1 to us as well. That is delightful finishing from him. Well, that's kind of made up for it, but I would have much rather won 3-0 than 4-1 in a way, because I'm just trying to keep our defensive side down. But fact is, who cares? Maybe more goals is better. I just want to show that we can defend quite well against poor sides, because we're going to have to defend quite well against great sides again when we're back in the Champions League again next year. Fingers crossed we actually get ourselves through to the group stages again. It's still going to be tough, because we got some quite favourable draws through all of it last year, so I think it's going to be a little bit tougher next year, but we'll have better players, I hope. I hope I can pick up a couple of gems in the summer and just see where we go from there. But there we go. Red Star for Borac 1. Lovely stuff. That is glorious. And Avramovsky's had a cracking game. None of the subs really did anything specific there, but it wasn't really that important. But there we go. We are now 9 points clear at the top of the league, 15 better goal difference, and our head-to-head against Partizan is better as well. So we were essentially 10 points clear, because at the moment our head-to-head is a 2-0 lead aggregate. So, yeah, I wonder when our next game against Partizan is, because we've got to make sure we live-com that. Sod's Law will be the next game now, and I've not taken that into account when I was setting this all up. But, yeah, so that's how it all stands up. Darko Lazovic is the best player in the league at the moment, which is great to see. I imagine that Savicevic would be up there if he'd played enough games. Schedule, please don't be the Partizan game in the next episode. No, right, okay, so Partizan is actually there. So what we're going to do... Yeah, so tomorrow's episode will contain the Partizan game, basically, and then I will do that, and then that. So, Partizan, Rad, Donjishrem for the next 3 episodes to finish off the season for you guys. Because we've got to show the Eternal Derby away. Because basically, if we can win away at Partizan, then we'll be 12 points clear of them, and with a better head-to-head goal difference. So you may as well hand us the league at that point. So it'd be good if we could win there. I think their only chance of getting anything over on us is to win that game, basically. It'll pull the league back to 6 points, and if they won the game by enough goals, it could be just about doable. But I still think we're going to win the league comfortably. So, guys, If you like what you've seen, please feel free to drop a like on the episode, and if you'd like to even more than that, please feel free to subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I will see you guys in the next episode for the FK Partizan game. Can't wait, guys. Bye bye.